You know, I don't know if I've done an interior tour video on this car in a while, and I know a few of you have been wondering what's going on the inside of this vehicle. Today's a good day for that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome to the interior tour of my Chevrolet Impala 9C1. Alright, I like to joke around and call this car the Impaler, but whatever. Anyway, I know it's cheesy. So let's do a little bit of an interior tour. So this car, of course, has the power windows, nice dark interior. I have a spotlight right here. Of course, right now it doesn't work because my battery is unhooked. Hey, Crown Vic's over there. I would turn this car on so you could actually see all the gauges light up, but it's got issues, so it's not going to be turned on right now. The steering wheel on this vehicle actually switched out and got the leather interior, or leather steering wheel. I was going to say leather interior. No, there's definitely not a leather interior in here, but the steering wheel here is the leather wrapped one. It's actually a pretty nice steering wheel. It's comfortable to hold on to. And actually, on the Impala, this is actually really easy to switch out. You basically take the airbag off and unscrew it, and boop, pops right off. You don't need a steering wheel puller or anything. I was actually telling my dad about that, and he was like, "You're gonna need a steering wheel puller." I was like, no, not really. GM actually made this pretty easy to switch. And when you switch it, these volume controls and all this stuff actually works. And I do actually have the rest of this so that I can hook this stuff up too, so I could actually have a Bluetooth in here. I just haven't gotten around to it, and now that I put the wrong coolant in here, I've got bigger fish to fry. The climate control here is dual zone, which is kind of goofy. You've got the vents. One thing with this car you guys need to be aware of if you ever get one of these is that the controller, I forgot what they call it, but there's a little thing in here that controls the direction of the vents, will eventually break, and it'll make this ungodly popping sound. So what'll happen if you have an Impala and you haven't experienced this yet, you will park your car, you will turn it off, you will walk away, and you'll hear a click, 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 click coming from up underneath the dash. And what that is it's the, I guess, I forgot, I wish I could remember what it's called. Of course, after I make this video, I'll remember. But basically what happens is there's a little directional piece in here that changes it from recycle air to just outside air pulling in. And by default, GM wanted that to go back to outside air every single time. So what it does is it changes the setting back. And after a while, those gears wear out, they break, and they stop functioning, and you hear this clicking sound. So if you ever hear the clicking sound, hopefully it's the one right here on this side that you can open the glove box out and just change real easily. But if it's not, I hear that there's one over there too that I haven't broken yet, and that thing, from what I understand, is a nightmare to change. But yeah, it's going to happen eventually. This car did come with this lower mounting plate. This right here, this whole like middle piece, this little cheesy cup holder and stuff, underneath of this, should you desire to pull this out, is something called a crush box, and it literally says that it's a crush box on it and says do not remove. That is there so that when you have a side impact, these seats kind of crush into it and not break free. So don't remove that. This right here is an armrest that I ended up buying. So the armrest itself, this piece, I didn't have, but the lower mounting piece, this piece right here, this was already in the car. So all I had to do was figure out what kind of armrest I needed, and I just plugged it in. So now I got a nice armrest. As you can see, the interior is cloth, vinyl, back seat, rubber floors. Yeah, typical cop car rubber floors. I did have a couple of cage panels left behind, and they rattle a little bit. There's one on this side, there's one behind the driver door. And I thought to myself, you know what, I should take those out. And then I discovered why they're still in there. I think what happened is when they went to take them out, or they put them in, they stripped the hole or did something, so now they're impossible to take out of the car. I mean, I guess I could drill them out, but I don't care that much. Up here, we have a, this dome light did, or you guys like to call it a ticket light, did not come with the vehicle. This is actually one of the LED ones. I found this in the junkyard. It plugged right into where the original one was. Yes, I know my fingernails need a trimming, because there's always some troll that comes by 6 months later and mentions it to me. So I figure I'll mention it for you. That way I don't have to see the comment. And if you do make the comment, you're an idiot. But anyway, it has all LEDs in here. It'll do either red or white. So it'll be nice and bright light or, you know, dim light. Now, here's something I don't think I've revealed before on this car. So if you're watching this, you may or may not have noticed this attached to the sun visor. This is a remnant of its prior life. This is every TIN code that this particular county uses. And these are the signal codes. Now, somebody out there is going to immediately cry and say, why are you showing that? That's confidential. But guess what? I'm going to tell you guys a little story. So, I was getting toasty. Let me open up the store. Air. But anyway, I'm going to tell you guys a little story. Many years ago, I actually read an article that was talking about police TIN codes. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but every department, well, almost every department, uses a slightly different set of TIN codes. And this can lead to some interesting issues that pop up. The article I read actually was talking about a law enforcement agency up in Northern Virginia. I think it was Northern Virginia. And up there's a lot of federal law enforcement running around. There's a lot of different federal law enforcement divisions, things that are associated with the DC capital area and a bunch of other stuff going on up in that general area. So one of these federal law enforcement officers was cruising around, saw a disabled vehicle on the interstate, and he used his TIN code for disabled vehicle and relayed that to the local law enforcement agency. That particular law enforcement agency interpreted that TIN code in their series as officer needs immediate assistance. So those responding officers were pretty stunned to find a disabled vehicle on the side of the road. We'll let that sink in for a little bit. So those of you trying to memorize TIN codes and thinking that you're, you know, all special and blah, 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 every department uses a slightly different variation. So unless you're a cop, there's no point in even remembering any of them. I mean, there's some common ones that are pretty much the same everywhere, like 10-4 basically means confirm, yes. There's some other ones that are pretty common, but actually, just for fun, you guys, what do you guys have? I think you guys have, what is it, like 1050 means like crashed car or something like that. Up here, it means stopping vehicle. So, there you go. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to think if there's some other ones that you guys might recognize, you know, depending on if you've seen a lot of police shows. But that's my point, is that these codes change from place to place to place to place to place to place to place. So if you think you're being cool by using a 10 code, you just look like an idiot. Unless you're talking to your own department and you're actually a cop. So in the back here, nothing real special, just the generic vinyl seat. No crazy lighting or anything back here. You can see where something was mounted here. I'm going to guess that that was probably like a radar or something. And then in the middle, there's some more that is kind of standing up. So I'm thinking there's probably a little flasher right here. I'm guessing this was probably some sort of radar or some sort of speed detection device. And then in some of these Impalas, you'll actually find holes in this general area because this is a really nifty spot to mount an extra light, but I don't have that. So, oh, here we go from the back. That rusty piece of metal, that's the crush box. Don't take that out of the car. And then over here, you can of course see this other mounting plate for the cage. Yeah, even on the inside here. I don't know how well you can see that, but you can see some dirtiness up at the top of the ceiling there. But you can kind of see where the cage was mounted, that kind of stuff. But all in all, good car, nice interior, no big complaints. All right, now that I'm nice and sweaty, nice and hot, nice and cooked, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video. Love to each and every one of you. And one of my next videos is probably going to be a tour on that bad boy's interior. Just as a little heads up if you actually stayed to the end. Ooh, so fresh and so clean. Yeah, that's right. I got around to washing it again. Put some air in the tires too.